Joining me now, Democratic strategist Taryn Rosenkranz, the founder and CEO of New Blue Interactive. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
What's it been like for you watching these speeches? Has there been a standout moment in your mind so far?
Oh, there's been so many. The energy and excitement inside that arena, especially last night, standing room only. I mean, there was just so many people and so much excitement and the buzz. I think the Obamas always bring that. But I think one of the standout moments or sort of surprise moments was just how funny and wonderful and loving the relationship with Doug was last night. That speech was just kind of a standout moment because I think it was a little bit of a surprise to everyone. It was just so heartfelt, and the shout out to his mom and just everything about it was just
I'm glad you brought
kind of
that
like
up.
a different moment, I think, and it really humanized her in a different way and brought their relationship to light.
She needed that, right? Because a lot of people have said, who is she? We want to know more about her. What is her personal background? And so he took that opportunity and ran with it. I want to play for folks who didn't see it, part of it, Taryn.
Sure.
That's when she called me back, and we talked for an hour, and we laughed. Well, you know that laugh. I love that laugh. She finds joy in pursuing justice. She stands up to bullies just like my parents taught me to. And she likes to see people do well, but hates when they're treated unfairly. She believes this work requires a basic curiosity in just how people are doing. Her empathy is her strength.
It's interesting that he brought up her laugh because it's something Donald Trump is making fun of, but it personalized her, talking about the beginning of their love story. But the question begs of what's next. Is this more about person and personality or substance and serious talk about the issues? How does she walk that line as people try to get to know her, but they're looking for more depth?
Yeah, I do think that's something, I mean, that's what this convention is all about, right? You do have to do both. You have to tell the story, you have to tell the policies. You kind of get a little bit of that last night with the video. I think they had a lot of that where they were sort of explaining all the different policies and the difference between what she wanted to do with the policies and sort of what Trump wanted to do. And I thought that was a really nice contrast. And I think you'll see a lot of that coming up in ads, sort of that contrast of like, this is what we want to do and this is our agenda and look what they're trying to do. And I think that we've been trying to tell that story of what, you know, the realities are for everyday people and what they're fighting for our freedoms, for what we're looking for and how the future will be paved. And I think it's hard, but you do need these moments of humanization and of the personal story. And I think as we move forward, now we've had some of that. And so there's other people who can tell more of those stories. Those are your surrogates. She can tell more of the policy story. And I think that's what you get as you're moving forward. You're going to see more ads that sort of talk about what she wants to do. She can talk about what she wants to do. But the people are the ones who tell your story, which is weird, right? You don't really see that, but that's something about politics. You let other people tell a little bit more about you because it sometimes feels weird for you to say it about yourself.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. She's going to have to talk about the economy and the thing that's happening right now with a lot of people based on polling and just talking to people on the streets is they're struggling.
Right.
A lot of Americans feel broke and they're looking at the last 4 years and wondering, is that why? How does she change that tune and not tie herself too closely to President Biden and some of the struggles Americans are really facing?
And I think it's really hard, but I think one of the things that last night brought is something that we've all been missing for the last few years, which is hope. And the Obamas were a good reminder of that. We can move forward with hope. We can start to bring that back a little bit. We can start thinking about how we pave the way to a new future and what we need to do to get there, what progress we have made, what steps we're taking, and what we can do to redefine what the future looks like and how we get there. And that's where we start to talk about policies and what we want to do to continue on progress and accomplishments we've made. And I think that's where we started to turn that. And that's why Michelle and Barack are the right people to have talked last night to kind of turn that page and let us start talking about policies and how we get there, because they remind everyone who's been struggling that we have hope and that we had hope before, and it can make change.
Defending those policies will happen September 10th, maybe the only presidential debate that we see. Yeah. How does Kamala Harris and her team strategize and prepare for that big moment?
And it's a huge one at that. I think it's going to be something that they're going to have to really look. It's hard to debate President Trump because his relationship with the truth becomes something that you need to kind of know might be a more casual thing. So they need to focus on what they want to do and sort of not pay attention to him almost. It needs to be about talking about what you want to do and sort of ignore the noise. And I think that's something you just need to focus on. What do I want to get across? What is our agenda? What do we want to accomplish? What do we want the American people to do? And sort of almost ignore that sort of situation.
Easier
and
said
it's
than
tough,
done.
right? But that's what you need to do. Yeah. It's really just kind of, keep your eye on the prize there and focus ahead of time on, just almost pretending they're not there. It's a debate about what you want to do and not really about what's happening, since so much of that becomes...
Sticking to the game plan.
Yeah.
Taryn, appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely. It's so wonderful to have me on. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the DNC.
Thank you.
All right.